Good morning, family. Stone Live here. Wednesday. It's a Wednesday, and we're heading into uh, the early part of the afternoon at 12 noon. It's raining outside in the Northeast Territories. Uh, the gods have decided that, for whatever reason, that, it's time to let the waters loose. And so now buckets have been unleashed, and I'm not complaining. There's still parts and places on this earth that have gone stretches without water. Uh, the pools that hold the water for communities and the pools where water is drawn to facilitate life have been dilapidated. There's very little water to go around. There are peoples who have to go out at certain times, and the water is rationed. Can you believe that? How water, something that nature freely gives us, is rationed to peoples in certain places and communities because of the lack of water there. So I'm not complaining. For whatever reason, nature continues to shine down, even when it's raining. She's shining down, and she's uh, facilitating those prescriptions which she has already set aside for us in the plants and in the soil, for us to seek out and to uh, you know to invoke and to ingest, which will bring us a relief from all of the things that ail us. It's all in nature. And when you talk about religious beliefs, when you talk about, well, I don't want to take the shot for religious beliefs. Well, the true religious belief is in nature. The argument comes from nature. The argument says, well, anything that I need to facilitate, an elixir, to facilitate a remedy, comes from nature. She's already wrote the prescriptions. You just have to go out there and familiarize yourself with those plants, with those herbs, with those elements that our ancestors had relied upon way before the coming of this so-called corporate structure, this corporate entity that has engulfed us and encompassed our worlds for the last 250 years. There was a post that I posted of a man, and I use that term when I use it, with all veracity. This was a man who was stating how, uh, the state of the world, particularly the state of the so-called black world, of the black man, of the black woman, of the black family, has failed and is descending. And a lot of it is attributed to the mothers, specifically the black mothers. And he was calling them out, and he was chastising them in a way, but with love. And he was trying to make them understand that, this whole myth of, the black man this and the black man's not there and the black man is absent from the family and the black man is in jail, he's shirking his responsibilities, how relative that may be. And there's some truth to that. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely some truth to that. But that it all comes down, the significance of his argument is that it all comes down to what you do, to what the black woman does. And this is on the world stage. This is just not on a local level, on a community level. This is on the world stage, because let's not forget, the black woman is the mother of the world. She's the mother of the universe. So now, what the black mother does, what she condones, what she respects, what she accepts, is transmitted and transferred to the other mothers of the world, and therefore the workings of the planet. I never forget, when I was younger, my sisters, because I grew up with sisters. My older sister in particular, me and my younger sister, when I say younger, meaning that she was the middle child, I was the youngest, She was the one that always beat me up, we were fighting all the time when we were younger, We always competed against each other. And, there was a lot I learned from, my middle sister. But my oldest sister, she was always the one on the sidelines. She never seemed like she never really interfered with me and my younger sister when we were engaging in our battles, playing ice hockey, playing handball. My middle sister was always beating my ass and everything that we did. But, that was a part of the process. But, I noticed as I started to get older, that's when my big sister stepped in. My big sister, she was 7 years older than me. My younger sister was 5 years older than me. And so, and on the block in the neighborhood that I grew up in, specifically on the block, South Jamaica, Queens, 11641 171st Street. That's where I grew up, South Jamaica. I was the youngest on the block. So all of my sister's friends, essentially were my friends, were my preceptors. They were my guardians and, in a way, outside of them and quite naturally my parents. And so whatever was going on the block, if I was going to be involved in it, I was going to be involved with older people. I was going to be involved with people my sister's age and my older sister's age. And those were going to be the people that I learned things from, that I learned how to socialize from, that I learned how to play sports from, that I learned how to, fight from. Those are the people that taught me. I remember, they used to come by my window when I was younger. The older dudes in the block. Yo, come on, nigga, come outside. It's time to fight. And I'm looking around. What do you mean? Nah, I'm good, man. I ain't trying to fight nobody, especially no older niggas. Nah, I'm good. Nah, nigga, come outside. And they were screaming. So I'm saying to myself, well, damn. Now, how come my mother doesn't, come to my rescue, or my father, or my sisters, And I never figured out till I got older, that they was down with it. That's why. So I had to go outside, like many other kids on the block and in the neighborhood, and we had to fight. And, it was a show for the older people, We were pitted against each other, and that's how it was, whether you liked it or not. You put the gloves on and you got down and you had to do what you had to do. You understand what I'm saying? And when it was time to play sports, you learned how to play sports, whether you liked it or not. And I remember vividly, my sister would get out there with me. This is my sister. This is not my brother. This is my sister. Come on, throw the ball. You throw that ball hard, too. If I don't hear that ball snapping that glove, you ain't throwing it hard enough. And I had to get the ball and throw it. Stop throwing the ball like a sissy. Throw it hard. Hey, what are you talking about? But that's how it was. This was my sister. This was the feminine element, teaching toughness, teaching how to, to mature and to matriculate from a boy into being a man. It was also her idea of what she thought a man was. That's more importantly, because it really comes back to the point that I'm trying to make about the women or the woman, particularly the black woman, being the singular object of how life is transmitted, and therefore how life is internalized. Okay, it's the black woman. So my sister was out there with me, and she showed me what it was as it was internalized in her mind, and what being a boy or what being a man represented. And to her, it represented toughness. It represented taking your bumps and bruises and shutting up, stop crying. It represented learning how to deal with certain situations. It represented learning how to get along with people. It represented being kind and being understanding. It also represented being tough and being and understanding and knowing how to take the pressure. And so understanding that and with the love that I had in my heart for my older sister, that was internalized to me. I internalized, her teachings, her trainings, her upbringing as it related to me, as the way a man was supposed to act. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So I guess what I'm saying is that anything contrary to how my sister raised me. In other words, has she raised me to be a wuss? Has she raised me to quit? Has she raised me to be the kind of guy that gave up on everything? Has she raised me to be disrespectful? Has she raised me to be overly liberal when it came to certain views and practices? That's what I would have thought and internalized from the mothers, from her, representing a mother, although she was my sister, but representing the mother concept. That's how I, as a little boy, would have internalized the way to now therefore behave and act in society. So this is how I know. And this is why what I posted on my Facebook page resonated so much with me, because I know that what he's talking about is real, because I understand how it translated and transmitted to me as a little boy coming up. That wasn't from my father. That was from my sister. Although I'm sure my father condoned it. That came from my older sisters. Listen, this is what it is. That you're going to be in a situation where not only will you protect yourself, but you may have to protect me one day. You may have to step out, nigga. We may have to get down and dirty together, depending on what happens out here. And you're going to know how to do it. And so therefore, I was put in situations from an early age to condition my mind and my spirit and my body to be able to facilitate such actions if need be. There were times when we were growing up in the hood, all mothers had their sons in martial arts. All mothers had their sons in sports. All mothers, was in the streets when their sons was fighting out there, or their daughters. That's just how it was growing up. And it had nothing to do with the love that we had for our neighbors, our friends, because after the fight, we would be friends again. We would act like nothing ever happened. That's how it was growing up with the mothers from yesteryear, but particularly the black mothers. But now the black mothers have accepted the liberal position. They've accepted the ha-ha and the kikiing. They've accepted, the feminine behavior from men, the feminine dress. In fact, a lot of them condone it. And they don't condone it from a malicious standpoint, meaning that they don't intentionally mean to harm their boys by condoning and supporting such social gestures and behaviors. But they just don't understand the ramifications that it has on the masculine mind when his mother, the black woman, the black mother, the mother of the planet and the universe, descends to a position of acceptance which neutralizes his masculinity. It all starts with the mother. Once the mother says enough is enough, once the black mother in particular says enough is enough, trust me, it all stops. Everything stops. This is why there's such a distraction with what the black man is doing, what the black man is not doing. And once again, I'm not saying that doesn't have veracity, but what I'm telling you is that the black man is raised by the black woman. He's raised by the black woman. I don't care whether the father's there or not. He's raised by the black mother. No sooner than that sperm is injected into the womb, he's being raised from a mental standpoint and from the blood by the mother. See, those who are really in contact are in contact with the blood. It's the blood that holds the secrets. And it's the blood that you have to tap into, good and bad, to kind of gain an understanding of you. But that's where the education comes from, the blood. And so the true mothers have tapped into the blood of generations of the ancestors, as well as those living, that she speaks to on a day-to-day basis. Her mother, her grandmother, her aunts, her uncles. She stays constantly in contact throughout the process of conception, bringing forth you. And now she talks to you in the physical as opposed to just conceptually through the blood and in the womb. So this is real, people, and it's the women that have to step up. The women right now have, they've accepted this whole, by and large, a lot of the black women, and this may be a generalization, but a lot of them, in my opinion, have accepted this whole thing with the COVID. They've accepted the mask. They've accepted the narrative. And so therefore, as a result of them accepting the narrative, what you're seeing now, what's going on in the world, on the planet, is now therefore occurring. She's accepted all of this. She's going along with it, and to the demise and the degradation of the unit, of the man, of the warrior, of the tough guy, of the protector, of the sons who are raised by the mothers. And so this is very important. It's very vital. If you get a chance, go over to my Facebook page and check out that little dialogue that my man is dropping. I mean, because he's dropping it. And he's dropping it much better than I am. But on that note, it's a rainy day. I'm about to get inside and, get me some warmth and comfort. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, talk to you later.